Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Hot News Gaming Edition. We got some good gaming news to talk about. Let's just jump right into the fray of it, because it appears that Crytek is teasing something. Apparently, we could be expecting a Crysis Remaster coming along. In order to show off their new Cry engine in a YouTube video, they showcased a whole bunch of games throughout the years, and then they end with a shot of the original Crysis, but in the new engine, which gives people a lot of indication that we might be getting it. Look at this. That's original Crysis, but with like really good new engine stuff, potentially even ray traced. Look at this. So people are now freaking out, thinking that there might indeed be a Crysis Remaster coming sometime soon, and we can just continue the meme forever. Can it run Crysis? Because it couldn't run Crysis when it originally came out, and if they remaster it in this brand new ray tracing engine, your PC definitely can't handle Crysis now. So this is the perfect time to do it. Please, Crytek, please, Crysis Remastered. We're begging you. And I'm also begging for more PlayStation games to come to the PC, but that's not going to happen. But there's some speculation that God of War might be coming to the PC, another PS4 exclusive coming, because apparently over on the PlayStation website, they removed the only on PlayStation tagline from God of War, which got people all hyped to think, oh, is God of War coming to PC? That's what they did with Death Stranding. They took away only on PlayStation, but then they added it back, and then now it's on PC. But based on other reports that we've seen, Sony has done this dozens of times where they just use different promotional imaging. Some have only on PlayStation, some don't. It's just a rotation thing, and this actually may not be a good indication that God of War is coming to PC. Do I want it to? Yes. Is it going to? Probably not. It would be great, but I'm going to say it isn't. But while I want God of War to come to PC, I also want the new PlayStation 5, and there's been some more discussion around it from the engineers who are working on it, saying that they want it to become like a Netflix experience where you can just click on it and it plays. Kind of like what Xbox showed off with their videos promotions with Austin Evans, just the automatic entry point into the video games. However, they also have a patent that could allow them to do that with multiplayer games, so that they wouldn't actually have to load into the game before they put you in the game's lobby, which is crazy. They don't have to load the full thing, so they can get it done super quickly. You just jump into an Overwatch match, select your character before the game is even fully loaded. Sony has a patent on that, so not only do they want to bring you the next-gen console experience that Xbox has already promised, but now they also can potentially bring this out for multiplayer. Single multiplayer games just load up automatically. You click it, you're running in it. There's no load screens. You could just jump right into it. And I want to jump right into Horizon Zero Dawn on PC and a new comic book that's coming out. Guerrilla Games is working with Titan Comics to bring out a new comic book that's going to be based on Aloy's story, which just further fuels the rumors in my head. I haven't seen this out there, that Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be Horizon Zero Dawn 2 will be a launch title on the PS5. Putting it on PC, bringing out a comic book, kind of reinvigorating the hype around it, could allow it to be a really successful launch title for PS5. It's been enough years since the original one that I could think that they would be done with the sequel already, even though there hasn't been much talk of it. That's what I want. That's what I'm anticipating. Hopefully it happens. You can have a comic book in July, my friends. And you could have PlayStation 3 games on your PC now. Do you know about game emulation? Do you know about the PlayStation 3 emulation? Well, the RPCS3 emulator has now been set up to support unlocked frame rates. You can run Skate 3 at up to 120 frames per second. It's only enabled on certain games so far. Skate 3, Wipeout, Ni no Kuni, Heavenly Sword, and most of Naughty Dog's game can support it. Not every game can, because for some games, the game engine, the speed of the game is tied to the frame rate. So if you speed up the game, if you speed up the frame rate, you're actually speeding up the game. This was something that happened when Fallout 4 launched. Even on PC, it was locked to 60, and if you unlock the frame rate, the game actually just ran faster. So unlock frame rate. PlayStation 3 emulator, in case you use that. Speaking of emulating, modifying. Speaking of modifying, people are trying to modify Half-Life Alyx to be able to play it without a VR headset. There's several people who are working on it who have found ways to replicate a testing mode that Valve had in the game, where they're not actually playing in VR. However, it's in a very select portion of the game. It's not the entire thing, and it's kind of awkward and clunky. So the natural intuitiveness of how Valve designed it for VR is very evident, but that doesn't mean modders aren't going to continue to try to bring Half-Life Alyx to everybody, especially non-VR. But that's a key reason why Valve has come out and said they made Half-Life Alyx a prequel and not a sequel to the Half-Life 2 game, because they realized they wanted to do a VR game in a select portion of their fan base, and their audience would actually be able to play this with a VR headset, and so they didn't want to make Half-Life 3 a game that only a select group of people could play, so they made it a prequel instead. So this could potentially give us some hope that Half-Life 3 will eventually come out, or it could just be, lip service from them saying this is why. But while Half-Life Alyx has given a lot of people to finally enjoy their VR headset, Doom Eternal has given a lot of people reasons to enjoy the lockdown that they're experiencing, because Doom Eternal has hit more than double the concurrent players on the game versus the 2016 Doom. They peaked over 100,000 people playing at a concurrent time, whereas Doom 2016 was only 44,000. So Doom Eternal is selling like hotcakes, and so is Animal Crossing New Horizons, because it's come out that not only was it the best-selling game in Europe, but it was the best-selling game in Japan for a Nintendo Switch game. It beat out Pokemon Sword and Shield and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, coming in at 1.8 million physical units, whereas Sword and Shield only sold 1.3 and Smash only sold 1.2. Hot dang. People don't love Riot Games all the time, but they're doing the right thing, or somewhat of a right thing right now, where they're going to be giving $1.5 million to the Voldemort stuff that's going on right now. The company plus its two co-founders are each giving $500,000 to help with relief efforts for everything that's going on. $400,000 will be going to Los Angeles Food Bank, $200,000 will be going to the Mayor's Fund for Los Angeles, and they're just trying to help out with everything that's going down with the financial meltdown, everybody being locked up, trying to make sure that everybody's okay. So Riot, good job there. Speaking of good job, in case you like the game Just Cause or Rage 2, you might be saying good job. And it turns out that they have a new game teaser for an unannounced game. This is by Systemic Reaction. They just have a teaser. That's it. We don't know what the game is or what it's going to be about. It's just there's a teaser for it. And yesterday we talked about how Remedy had signed a deal with a publisher for 2 new games, and we weren't quite sure who the publisher was. Well, it came out after we recorded the episode, but before we released it, that Epic Games is now the publisher for Remedy on those games, as well as a couple other development studios. Design, Playdead, and Remedy are all going to be developers under Epic Games Publishing. However, not only is Epic Games going to publish the games, they're going to give the developers a 50% cut of the profits of everything that sells on the Epic Games Store. So they're funding everything, and then they're also giving the developers money from the sales. Good guy Epic Games seems to be striking yet again and trying to turn the world upside down with its practices in the digital distribution of video game world, which they're doing partially thanks to their free games that they give out. In case you always wanted to play World War Z, it's now available for free on the Epic Games Store. Figment and Tormento X Publisher are also one of the free games that you can pick up right now. Which I have to say, if there's a time to play a zombie post-apocalyptic game based on a book that had to deal with a pandemic that spread across the world, kind of in the exact same way that we're dealing with it now, I mean, now's a good time to play World War Z, I suppose. That's the end of the Epic Games stuff. Yesterday we talked about how Remedy was working on stuff, and we also mentioned yesterday that Nintendo Direct might be happening, and it did! We got a Nintendo Direct Mini from Nintendo with a lot of announcements taking place. There's going to be a Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, BioShock, Borderlands, and XCOM 2 are headed to the Switch, which is a part of a 2K package that's coming out. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 Black Order Shadow of Doom DLC is happening. Shinsekai Into the Depths is coming out. Animal Crossing New Horizons is going to have an Easter celebration. There's a game called Good Job. Catherine Full Body is coming to the Switch, which if ever there was a game to show how non-family friendly Nintendo is willing to go, Catherine is one of those. Ring Fit Adventures is getting a rhythm mode update. King's Bounty 2 is coming. Super Smash Bros. Is getting an ARMS fighter, and ARMS is getting a free trial. While I might be disappointed with the ARMS character, people are excited about what it means, because it means that sprites and like trophies and stuff in the game don't necessarily preclude them from becoming playable characters in the future. Whereas there was a rumor before that if it was like if it was already in the game, they wouldn't ever make it a fully playable character. So there's hope for Waluigi yet. Bravely Default 2 also got some promotion. It looks like it's still going to be coming out later this year, but there is now a demo live on the Nintendo Switch. Then there's Clubhouse Games, 51 worldwide classics that you can play by yourself or with other people. Then there's the game Ninjala, which to me just looked like Splatoon, but with ninja stuff. And then Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy and Star Wars Episode 1 Racer are coming to the Switch. Panzer Dragoon Remake also out on the Switch. Trials of Mana coming out. And then there's some details on the Pokemon Sword and Shields expansion pass. Don't know why I went Southern for that. So good updates for the Nintendo Direct Mini. Some good stuff there. And there's also some updates on what games are coming to GeForce Now, with the biggest notable ones going to be Control, but then there's also Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, which is a pretty good one according to me, and then a few others that you can check at the link in the video description. Also linked in the video description is going to be an extended interview that Ars Technica did with Andy Gavin, the Crash Bandicoot designer. He already did an episode with them of their War Story series, where he just basically detailed all of the struggles that they went with to get Crash Bandicoot to work, and now they've published a 2-hour extended interview that they did with him. The 30-minute one was great. I highly recommend you check this out at the link in the video description. But while Ars Technica is expanding and giving us more, Bethesda and Fallout 76 is giving us less, because the Wastelanders update, which was supposed to be a huge overhaul of everything in Fallout 76, has been delayed due to the Voldemort stuff that's going on. Bethesda's having to force people to work from home, less in-person interactions, which means the Wastelanders update will be not happening as soon as possible. It was supposed to launch on April 7th. They're saying it's going to launch on April 14th. We'll see if they actually meet that deadline. But considering how Fallout 76 has played out, I'm not too excited for anything that they're saying. But you might be excited for Resident Evil 3, and they dropped a new Jill Valentine trailer that you can check out if you want to. I mean, Resident Evil 3 is a beloved, prestigious franchise. Everybody thinks good things about it mostly. There's some hiccups there, but you know who's been a big hiccup lately? BioWare. And they said that they're currently working on one of their most prestigious franchises, which basically means we're either going to get a ruined version of Mass Effect again, or maybe we'll get an Anthem sequel that's going to be terrible. I don't know. A new Dragon Age that's garbage. I don't have a lot of high hopes for BioWare at this point. Do you? Let us know down below in the comments. But if we're talking about prestigious franchises, we can't not talk about Sega. They have some of the best prestigious franchises across all the gaming. Sonic? Anybody? Hey? Well, they have a new mascot. There's a video that just came out. He's the mascot. Look at him. Look at him. It's very mysterious. Apparently, he's the son of the former mascot who used to be part of Sega. Apparently, his name is Sega Shiro, and he's replacing the mascot who is Sagata, but he's the son of the guy who played the previous one. I don't know. It's confusing. I don't understand it. The trailer's in Japanese, but apparently he doesn't say anything more than Sega Dio. So there's I'm confused. You know who else was confused? GameStop. They didn't know whether to close their store to protect their employees over profits, to make sure that they were staying alive or not. Well, it's come out as of an earnings report that GameStop is closing permanently 300 of their stores. So this was one of the anticipated things with them shutting down temporarily, that there were going to be some permanent closures. And GameStop closed 321 stores last year, but it's going to be 300 more this year. The GameStop executive saying that there might be an acceleration of the rate at which they need to shut down stores this year. So there could be even more GameStop employees without a job going into this difficult season. So that sucks. And that's the end of Hot News. It's on a bummer note. Bye.